Phil again from PT Precision. It's been a while, one of these DPF cleans, so we're using new products today. We've got this products from Tunap here in Australia. There's a bunch of local guys that are importing this stuff. It seems to be working very well. We've done quite a few now and had great success with it. So I thought we'd just video and show you. We've got a imported Toyota Hiace camper van, right? It's got this is a 3 litre turbo diesel. These have particulate filters on them. So what we do is we put the 931, it's a cleaner in it. We're going to put that in through the temperature sensor at the top. We let that sit in there for, how long do we let that sit in there? Half an hour or so?
An hour.
Half hour to an hour, letting it sit in there. We put it in through their tools, so we've got quite a few different adaptation pieces for difficult to get to places and longer rods that they've supplied. They've supplied us all this equipment. It's air operated, which is good for those guys, the Tunap guys. And then we put in the cleaning solution after to rinse and this solution through it. You'll see it. This thing's half blocked and it will not do a forced regeneration. So hopefully this will allow us then to do a forced regeneration. And then you should see all the shit coming out of it anyway. So this has been working quite well for us, yeah? It's good stuff. Right, so this is your DPF here. So we'll be going in through this sensor right here. We'll get this, it's nice and warm now. We'll get it in through there. I might just tell you that the DPF light is on this, and this is why it's in here, engine light and DPF light on. Yeah, so, and then once we've scanned it, we've seen it's more than halfway blocked, so it won't do a force regen. So anyway, we'll see how we go. Yeah, cool. Okay, Emma didn't want to film this, but I don't care. Well, we've had a problem with that temperature sensor, yeah, in the DPF. And because this is an import, if I break it, I may not be able to get one, yeah, and that's my concern, yeah. If I had to replace it, if it was faulty, fair enough, I'd continue on with it, but it won't come undone, yeah, and we're starting to round it. So what I've done, I've just drilled a 4mm hole underneath it. I'll get this gun in there, and I'll be able to clean in around the front. It's the same thing. And then I'll just weld over it. Emma's like, don't film it. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm fine. It's a cheeky way of doing it without breaking anything, and time saving as well, because if I snap it, you know, hours. Anyway, it's good. Show us. Okay, well, all the stuff seems to be working. Quite sure. That'll slowly just burn all the solution out of there and clean it out. Hopefully doing something, it's working. Good stuff. That's going to take like, I'll say about half an hour, 40 minutes, maybe more. We might drive it as well before that will all burn off out of that DPF. So, I mean, it's doing its job. This is what happens. Lucky we're in an industrial area. Anyway. Okay, so this one, the Toyota Hiace, it's now finished. So it had the lights on, obviously for the DPF is that middle one, the orange one, and the engine light beforehand whilst it was running. Now starts, everything works appropriately, no more smoke at the back. It's running sweet. So we ended up burning all the Tunap solutions out. As you would have seen, all the smoke pouring out of everything. It spent some time doing that. We had to drive it a couple of times and eventually got all of it out. But the best part about doing that Tunap is that it brought the soot content down to an appropriate level, whereas then we could do a forced regeneration on the system via the scan tool, and then we had to drive it to initiate that regeneration, and then that got the soot level down to nearly a zero content. So that's good, and all the lights now have gone off. After we did the tune-up stuff, the engine light actually went off, and it was just the DPF light on. And once we'd driven it a little bit, it came further down to an appropriate level where we could do the force regeneration via scan tool. So all in all, it worked out really well. No more smoke. I don't know if you want to film the back of that. It's all good.
Yep.
Add to that back of that video, the tune-up stuff, we're using that, we're offering that to the customer, because failing that you'd end up having to take the DPF off, send it away for cleaning, yeah, and that's an expensive process as well. Look, 99 times out of it we are successful with this stuff, and other than that we end up having to send the DPFs and some EGR coolers away for cleaning, and it's a much more intense job, like there's more labour involved in it, and there's a third party doing it as well. So this is a good outcome. It's not as expensive as pulling the stuff off and sending it away, so all in all, and it works, so yeah, it's worthwhile. Give it a go. G'day, it's Phil from PT Precision here again. Got a Toyota Hiace in. This is lacking power. This one's come from a couple of different workshops. It's an 08 to 1 kd FTV engine, you know, the 3 litre turbo diesel. So lacking in power. They have a few different issues that they can get on these things. So you've got obviously the turbo, you've got carbon build up in the manifolds. We've got filters for the turbo pressure sensors. The pressure sensors play up. There's a few things to nut out on this, right? So also your injectors. We commonly do all these all the time. I haven't videoed one in a long time, so I thought what do. We just started cleaning it also. This EGR is actually blocked. Okay, we're going to try and chemically unblock it and get it to go again. Otherwise it's a new one. I think they're $1,200 new. They're quite expensive, so we'll try and unblock it. We're going to be pulling off this manifold as well to clean all the carbon out of it. Now, it's a bit of an involved process, right? But we've also checked live data and everything running on it, because we're looking for lack of power as well. These injectors are very high on the compensation. So we replace them anything above 1.7 or below 1.7. So they are on 1.7 and a little bit above. But it's thousands of dollars just to do the injectors as well. So the poor kids in a bit of strife here. So anyway, we're going to strip the manifolds, clean it all up, and then we're going to do a decarbon, and then we'll also run solutions through the injectors and see if that cleans it up. I have had success where it will clean those injectors up and they will run better, and the compensation will come back down to a reasonable level. We can recheck it later on if we see it again. Generally we get these cars in, they come, we fix them and they go, we don't see them again. But, well, some people come back, but if they live around the area. So we'll see. I'll just show you how we strip it down a little bit. You don't need to see, I've got heaps of these videos on about this, but I'll just show you a little bit about it. Yeah, realize. Okay, so sorry I haven't videoed the manifold and the throttle body and everything and the EGR. Just been too busy. So we actually had some good success in cleaning that the EGR cooler. It was completely blocked through. We had it soaking for 3 days over the weekend and stuff.
and then we run a high pressure washer through it, and it came good. So I'd say it's most probably 90% unblocked. It's most probably still 10% blocked. But we've put it all back together. We've done the decarbon in it, but those injectors, I haven't run any solution through those injectors or the fuel system. The injectors are just too bad. Yeah, like they're on cold startup. The compensation's like 2.3 or something, isn't it?
2.7.
2.7. It's a 2.7, and it's knocky. It's just not worth it. It's a new set of injectors. It's got a couple of 100,000 Ks on it. So we've pulled the injectors out, and a new set coming. So there's here. So new set of injectors, and then the thing will run really sweet and bloody not be so knocky. It's really bad when it's cold. So anyway, I might film that. Just too busy. Okay, all right. So this Toyota van's now finished. It sounds fantastic. So this is stone cold. Just reversed it out of the shop. Programmed all 4 new injectors in. It's all been relearned and everything. Like, it's going great. This would be rattling its head off. I should have filmed a little bit more of it, but I've been really too busy. But you can hear these vans, and curious use these vans all the time. You hear them driving around, rattling noises that'll end up blowing your piston, yeah? This thing had lack of power in it. This thing goes good now. No noise, sounds that shit. That's the window down. Beautiful. Alright, bit too fast here. But that's it. Yeah, job done. So it had blocked inlet manifolds. It had a completely blocked EGR cooler, which we ended up getting, I reckon, around 90% unblocked, which is a good result because they're over $1,000, those things. But the bigger concern for us, I mean, that was engine light on. The bigger concern for us was the knocking noise coming out of those injectors. Brand new, 4 new injectors, all programmed, all relearned in it. It's beautiful. Here's how it is. It's got great power. Sounds good. Sounds normal. This will go for a long time yet. Okay.